How are you dealing with 2020? I know for me, if I'm really honest, in the quiet moments, I find my brain wandering to a place where I can't help but think, this was such a wasted year. And if I go even a step further, I find myself thinking that I just find myself hungry for a different world. Whether it's a world without political elections, if that could be a thing, or a world without social unrest, or a world where, I don't know, people could just be nice to each other, or something like that. I hunger for a different world. Maybe you've been feeling that way too. But what I think is a refreshing reminder is a brief overlook at history. See, Jesus, when he came, was absolutely revolutionary. And to be honest with you, I think we take the Jesus-centric world for granted. Here's what I mean. Before Jesus, most gods, whether they were ancient Middle Eastern or ancient Near Eastern or Far Eastern, were sort of this projection of a cultural, I lost the word.
A projection of a cultural expectation.
Yeah, there you go, thank you. A projection of a cultural expectation for sort of this tribal god. Really, the pictures of the polytheistic ancient Near Eastern religions looked a lot more like bloodthirsty warlords. They had certain expectations. They would take advantage of you. They would take from you in order so that they could protect you. And most governments and human systems were modeled off of what people thought those gods were like. So the kings in essentially were the sons of God. Jesus did things differently, though. I want to read you from Isaiah. This is a prophecy about Jesus. And as we're taking 5 minutes to do a spiritual deep dive in the light of the Christmas season, focusing on Jesus, I want you to listen to the things that came true that were said long before he was born. Out of the stump of David's family will grow a shoot. Yes, a new branch bearing fruit from the old root. And the Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. He will delight in obeying the Lord. He will not judge by appearance, nor make a decision based on hearsay. The picture we see painted of this Jesus guy, this guy who represents God, who we believe was God, is a picture very different from many of the gods who came before him or along next to the Jewish God. This is a God who does not steal and take advantage of his people in order to provide protection. But let's not pretend that though we live in the West and in America specifically, that we don't have our own gods that take advantage of us, that ask more than we can bear. I mean, the things that come to mind, the gods that we serve here are gods like money and possessions. Things like freedom and independence. The belief that we can do things all on our own. And things like pleasure. That if it feels good, do it. Right? But the truth is that these gods are just as cruel and bloodthirsty as some of the gods we find in antiquity. They will take from you without any regard for your energy. They will take advantage of you in order to build their own reputation. They care not for your flourishing. But Jesus, see, he's different. Jesus is different. It says the Spirit of the Lord rests on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and of might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. He will delight in obeying the Lord. He will not judge by appearance or make decisions based on hearsay. He will give justice to the poor and make fair decisions for the exploited. The earth will shake at the force of his word, and one breath from his mouth will destroy the wicked. He will wear righteousness like a belt and truth like an undergarment. Jesus is a whole different kind of king, building a whole different kind of kingdom. He is trustworthy. He is kind. He is strong. He is compassionate. His whole goal is the flourishing of humanity. So let me ask you this. How can you move out of the echo chamber that is your life and begin to depend on Jesus? How can you begin, maybe just starting with the decisions that you make, considering what it says here in Isaiah 11, the fear of the Lord, or a proper respect and reverence and awe for God?